Hey, this is Alan Fenstermaker here with Birdcliff TV. I'm here with Joseph Pesavento. How are you doing today, Joseph?
Doing very well. How are you?
Now, can you tell me about some of your books that you write? Or
Sure. They span all different subgenres, all horror. I've done everything from slasher to zombie to ancient monsters, sci-fi horror, and I really like diversifying the horror. I think if you kind of do one particular one, you kind of pigeonhole yourself. So I like spanning across the subgenres because as a horror fan, you're usually introduced to that, and having a wide variety of interests usually reflects on the creativity, and I think I'm a prime example of that. I'm a big fan of horror movies. I'm a big fan of horror novels, horror video games, pretty much the whole genre. So I really like to incorporate all those inspirations in my writing.
now, what is the main thing about horror that you like the most?
I think primarily it's a genre that is at the forefront, defies expectations, but it's also just as inclusive. You know, early on in the 70s and 80s, you had people with LGBTQ, African American people, and these were movies that were already kind of setting the bar for modern horror. And I think it's a genre that also doesn't require a lot of it doesn't require a lot to get it done. Whereas, like, if I want to shoot an action film, you don't need tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars. For a horror movie, you can make for a couple mil, if anything. And I think the genre itself, all you really need is something that will encapsulate fear, and you can go to space with it.
Okay, now have you ever done any kind of ghost hunting or anything? Or
I've never done any ghost hunting. I grew up in the Hudson Valley, so arguably my area is relatively spooky, relatively haunted, but personally I've never done any hunting myself.
okay, but have you had any kind of crazy paranormal experiences at all ever?
My childhood home, I actually a woman died in the living room, and both my mother and myself have seen, you know, just apparitions in the house. You know, seeing someone walk up the stairs but no one's home, stuff like that. So just having a presence like that, it kind of stays with you and you kind of feel it. And I think that kind of relates to how I was able to get into the genre.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you want to add, or like, do you have anywhere where people could purchase your books at if they like what they see? Or
feel free to find me on both Instagram and TikTok, both under Joseph Pesavento Writes. My website, josephpesavento.com. You'll be able to find my newsletter. I do have a YouTube channel where I talk about my travels for conventions and events that I do, and just my creative process. And you can find me, just type in my name, Joseph Pesavento, or under my channel in my own words.
now, where are some of the coolest spots that you travel to with this?
One of my favorites, I'm also a really big mall enthusiast, so being able to do Living Dead Weekend out in Pittsburgh, where the movie Dawn of the Dead was filmed, the show actually takes place in the Monroeville Mall. So having been in a place that a legend like George A. Romero filmed, and being able to sell my books, some of the zombies from that movie have actually read my book, so something like that is a true milestone in my writing career.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thanks for doing this interview.
Thank you.
Her and your sister went to the church. Your mom and your sister.